All right, let's get it, guys. First fight of the night, we got MarQuel Mederos. He's taking on Mark Choinski. And Mederos, hopefully we get to see him step in the octagon this week. He was going to fight Balaji Oki, but he said he got sick and it stopped him from being able to be at his optimum and make weight. And I guess the illness didn't linger on that much because he's looking to fight just 7 days later. And hopefully, when he cuts weight this week, everything goes smooth. He doesn't pull out again. But we just kind of broke down Medeiros last week and his style. Athletic guy, he's bouncy. He wants to switch stance, move around, be real evasive, kind of lull you with a lot of feints. And he holds his hands low. So he wants you to throw at him and then he'll pull counter you and he can go in and out really quickly. Pretty good leg kicks, I feel like, and I think in this fight he could work the leg kicks, and I see him throwing knees up the middle in this fight, which are going to make Choinski a little bit worried about the wrestling. And I do think that Medeiros, though, if you look at him historically, kind of has suspect takedown defense. He's good at using the cage to defend takedowns and get up and has decent clinch work, but when you shoot on his legs, we saw Austin Hubbard take him down fairly easily, and Medeiros has no submission wins. So when you're taking him down, there's not really a threat. You're going to get caught in a submission. He doesn't really have a sweep game or much of anything on bottom. And in this fight, he has to pressure and stay smart, not give up any easy takedowns. And this is a switch up for Medeiros because he's going from fighting a striker without a wrestling threat to now someone that he's going to have to defend takedowns against. But he's the bigger fighter in this matchup. I think obviously it more favors him. But Mark Choinski, he's not having a fight on Contender Series. He's not having a fight on The Ultimate Fighter. He's getting this short notice jump right into the UFC. And 29 years old, he's 8-0. He's a Rufus Sport fighter, so all those are good things for him. He was also 3-0 as an amateur, so never has lost a fight. But he's only been a pro since 2022, so it hasn't been that long. He has already won and defended a belt in the regional scene in Anthony Pettis FC, and he was getting ready to fight for the 170 title in APFC June 15th, so he has to have been training, and obviously now he's going to have to make the cut back down to 155, which I'm a little surprised that they're making these guys cut. I mean, we just had Medeiros struggle to make the weight, or maybe it really was a illness, but whatever it was, he couldn't make 155 and fight the next day, and Choinski was getting ready to fight at 70, so I kind of figured they maybe would have fought this one at 70, but it looks like they're going to both have to cut down to 55, so for Choinski it could be hard because he could have been putting on some size for the 170 fight, and for Medeiros, obviously we're going to have to see how he reacts to another weight cut, but Choinski, he's a 3-time All-American wrestler, so he knows how to cut weight, and obviously he knows how to wrestle, so he wrestled Division 3, he wasn't really the cream of the crop, but he was one of the best Division 3 wrestlers in the nation from 2017 to 2019, finished third in the national championships in 2019, and he coached wrestling for Rufus Sport too, so it's going to be sharp, and that's his primary weapon probably in this fight. But on the feet, Choinski has loose hands, and he tries to keep his guard high, dart in, dart out with combinations, and he has a pretty narrow stance, so he slides in and out of range well, and he can crack back with counter punches. Kind of tries to inch in a range and then use the hand speed to land and then get out of dodge. And he stays patient. He's pretty difficult to deal with because if you get too over aggressive, he could take you down. And he's good at not really engaging that much and then doing so on his terms and kind of doing enough to potentially sway around on his favor. But he isn't really powerful or dynamic on the feet, though. And I think he's going to struggle with the kicking game of Medeiros, and he's going to have to figure out how to get on the inside, shut down the kick, shut down the knees up the middle, and make it more of a boxing fight on the feet, and then obviously use his wrestling, which he is a good wrestler, but he doesn't really push the wrestling. He will use his hands and movement, and He's willing to strike, but he gets fighters to come to him, and then when they're looking to box, he will shoot. He has a fast double leg. Top pressure is good. Good ground and pound as well. And he'll float on guys. He'll try to make them move around on bottom, get tired, and he has a good ability to eventually get to the mount or the back, and then he could finish. He has 3 rear naked choke wins, 5 submission wins, but he hasn't been fighting really great competition, so I think his submission rate is a little inflated. But he's a hard fighter to hold down if you do get him down to. I saw John Simon, a guy that he fought, got a couple takedowns on him, but he got back up pretty easily. His conditioning looks good. I feel like he's a solid fighter. He has decent hand speed and footwork and keeps his hands high. Kind of a, in my opinion, low-level version of Christian Rodriguez, but he doesn't have the pressure striking, only the off-the-back foot striking that Rodriguez brings. But then he has better wrestling, and he has been aggressive and effective on top, but this is a massive step up, and I do kind of have questions about Choinski. For one, I don't know if he's athletic and dynamic enough to fight at the UFC level. He hasn't faced somebody with great striking or kicking ability, and if he can get takedowns and find the finish on Mederos, then I will believe that, maybe Choinski has a ability to make a run at 145, 155, wherever he decides to be at. But Mederos has to be careful here because this is a trap fight, but he should have the more dynamic striking. And I think if he fights smart, maintains distance, lets his shots go, he probably can win. But he's been dealing with health issues. It's going to be another weight cut for him. He's fighting someone who is a better wrestler than he is, and I just don't have confidence in Choinski to say he's going to beat someone at Mederos' level without seeing it. But I do think that it's kind of a dog or pass situation here. But I'm going to say it's kind of similar to last week where Oki fought Michael Aswell, and Aswell accounted for himself well, and it went to decision, but he lost. I think it'll be similar to that where maybe Choinski will get a takedown, he'll win a round, he'll have some moments, but MarQuel Mederos will win a decision. So Mederos is going to be the prediction for me in this fight.